Yeah, that's going to be my new intro, by the way. We'll see how it goes. If I'm totally mocked, we won't do it anymore. Anyway, movies that changed my thinking. Oliver Stone's JFK. This is a film that changed everything for me, because at school we were told that John F. Kennedy was killed by Lee Harvey Oswald, one lone crazed assassin. So when I watched JFK, it's a wonderfully made movie by Stone. And some of the claims, I think, in this movie at the time couldn't be proven. But now when you look back on it, most of the claims he made in the movie were absolutely true. And, they were deemed as conspiracy theories. Now, one of the things he debunks in the movie is the magic bullet theory. They claimed, an ambitious district attorney or whatever, Arlen Specter, claimed there was a magic bullet that wounded Kennedy and Connolly in the motorcade. This was a lie to convince people there was only one shooter. But this film is brilliant because it kind of paints a shadow of a conspiracy by global governments. And, watching this film for the first time, I'm thinking, wow, it changed I didn't know that war was profitable before I saw that film. I didn't. Call me Mr. Naive. I was like 18, 19, maybe 20. I was living with my girlfriend and her family at the time. And I couldn't put this film down. I mean, this film was my life. I even started going to the library, writing my own story called Kennedy and Oswald. And I kind of created a parallel of the two men. I was that obsessed with JFK and the whole Kennedy and Oswald thing. It was mind-blowing to me. The film absolutely changed my thinking and changed everything for me. Then we go to Oliver Stone again. Oliver Stone's Born on the 4th of July. Again, a movie that changed my thinking. I didn't realise they were going to schools and recruiting young boys to go and fight in Vietnam. Well, of course they were. They were desperate. The Americans were getting their asses kicked in Vietnam because they were fighting a war they had no right to fight. They should have left the Vietnamese people alone, but they didn't. They're like the Nosy Parker in your favourite British soap opera, whether it's Dot Cotton, who's not with us anymore, of course, the great Jim Brown's gone, what a loss that is, but the Americans and the British are always getting involved with these things, like now they're getting involved with a war they shouldn't be. But they said, I didn't realise they were going to schools and recruiting young boys. So this is the true story of Ron Kovic, played by Tom Cruise. Born on the 4th of July is Tom Cruise's greatest movie and greatest performance. And I wish, Tom, you would get back to doing actors' movies like this and stop this adrenaline junkie BS. We're all getting bored of it. That's why the last Mission Impossible film was a flop. So he's a very patriotic young man, country, flag, he goes to war, but then he becomes disabled and he comes back and his attitude towards the flag and his country changes because he realises he was stitched up by his government. He was stitched up by the army general who came to his school and recruited him and a bunch of other eager young boys to go to Vietnam. Basically, America turned their backs on these young boys who came back crippled. He's this good-looking young guy and he becomes a cripple. And him and his mother come to blows. His mother is a very religious, old-fashioned lady. They told us to go, Ma. That's what they told us too. And he's falling out with his mum. He's going to prostitutes. Look, if you haven't seen Tom Cruise in Born on the 4th of July, I don't know what to say to you. It is an amazing, eye-opening film. Movies that changed my thinking. And there was one on my list on Instagram today, and I've forgotten which one it is. Damn it. But there's another one that changed my thinking, and that is Jodie Foster in The Accused. This film, I was a kid when this came out. I remember Wendy James from Transvision Vamp going, men and boys need to watch this movie, as they do. And if that happened now, it'll be like, oh, you know, woke and all that nonsense. But it's true. It was important for me, a young boy who had just learned about the facts of life, to learn about what sexual abuse does to a person, does to a woman. This is a film where we see a young woman gang raped in a bar while people are cheering and clapping. And I think it was based on a true story. So basically, they plea bargain the rapist. So basically, it's like they get away with it. So then they decide to prosecute the people who cheered and clapped, because to Tobias's lawyer, who Jodie Foster is playing, who's the victim in this, they're the ones who kept the rape going by cheering and clapping. I agree with that, by the way. So they get prosecuted, and basically Sarah gets her day in court. She gets to stand, you know, on the box and tell her story, because we know back in the day, and I don't know what it's like now, they used to treat the victim like the accused. That's why the film's called The Accused. So this, again, is a film that, you know, changed everything for me. And we used to get these films. These were very groundbreaking films made by great people, written and directed by great people, and performed by great people like Jodie Foster and Tom Cruise. And Kevin Costner even had his life threatened, and Oliver Stone did, for JFK, because obviously America is a really, we've seen this by what's going on with this election, right? With Trump and Harris. When it comes to politics, the people are a little bit, you know, I mean, they've even created another social media platform, which is pretty much left-wing, to get away from Elon Musk's right-wing ex-Twitter. So they really are, as I say, sorry if I'm offending anyone, but that's how it looks to me. So they're the 3 films that changed my thinking, but there's a lot more films that changed my thinking. Is there films that changed your thinking, educated you, taught you something that you didn't know?